Good morning, plebs. Who here feels like a king this week? Who has the royalty after this weekend? Well, I'll tell you right now, Port Adelaide versus Sydney Swans. Sydney, the top team, the cream of the crop, came to the Adelaide Oval, or did they? Maybe they didn't. Maybe it was an illusion of a team because Port Adelaide absolutely pulled their pants down from the first bounce of the game. And we felt like royalty for once. How do you beat the top of the team all year by 112 points? We kicked the first 172 points of the game to zip? What is this team? Who is this team? I couldn't believe it. The crown, the king. It's not King Charles. It's not King Charlie Dixon. It's Georgiades. Georgiades is the future king. Simba Georgiades. We dominated that game. Dominated, like I said. I was there. I watched it live. It was a nice day. It was a Saturday night. And I've said this to people before. You dominate the midfield, you control the game. And every single our midfielders played fantastic, top-notch football. Zach Butters, probably one of the top three of the match. William Drew probably played his best game I've seen him play for ages. Even people like Ollie Wines played great. Jason Horne-Francis, mate, he could take half that team. Jason took half that team on. Unbelievable player. Great midfield and great small forward. He's got the goods. And he's only 21 years old. Sweet, excellent in the ruck. Aaliyah, great in defence. Zach Thurcher, great in defence. Even those that I call B graders, like Lockie Jones. He played good, Lockie Jones. He played really good. Francis Evans, the name that shall not be mentioned, that shall not be in the team. He kicked a couple of goals. Everyone played their role. It was the best joint effort of a team I've seen it. The way they were moving the ball, handballing it, kick it to advantage. They were playing the best I've seen them as a team. And we did. Maybe Josh Carr was coaching that game. He was interviewed at halftime. I didn't see Hinkley on the big screen at all. Was he even there? Who knows? He's still a cardboard box because a couple of his selections may cost us a win in the future. We'll get to those in a second. But let's look at some of the stats, shall we? Zach Butters, what do you get? He got 30 possessions, 5 marks, 8 tackles. Connor Rosie, 27 possessions, 20 kicks, 8 marks, 5 tackles and a goal. Dan Houston, Superman Dan Houston, the Rocket. 24 possessions, 18 kicks, 12 marks, 3 tackles, and kicked 2 goals. This is a defender. This is a guy who plays half-back flank, and he's kicking 2 goals. William Drew, I think, was the man of the match. 32 possessions, 6 marks, 6 tackles, and even played full forward a bit as well. Ollie Wines, look at this. Look at these stats. These are all our midfielders. 31 possessions, 5 marks, 3 tackles. Bergman, great player. Willie Rioli, great player. Georgiades, he's kicked, 3-4 goals in the last 5 games or so. Had an ACL last year. King, the new king, the future king. Georgiades, strong marks, kicking great goals. He could have kicked another 1 or 2. Charlie Dixon is done. Yes. But what he does is he draws the best defender for that team, and they go on Dixon because he's a power forward. Same as Radigalia. They played him up forward. Now, he's not the best for kicking for goals, let's be honest, but he's a strong body. And when you have a strong body, you draw more players, and then your small players like Rioli, your small players like Francis Evans, your small players like Jackson Mead, Darcy Byrne-Jones, they can crumb the ball because Radigalia, Dixon, they'll bring it to the ground. And then Georgiades has more room. He played unbelievable, Georgiades. Since the last 5 weeks, even Zerk Thatcher did great. So many intercept marks that game. What was his stats? 7 marks, 3 possessions he got. Byrne-Jones was subbed out of the game. He's a B grader. But he kicked the goal. What did he get? He had 5 possessions. We're dominating against Sydney. And you have someone like flying under the radar, Burn the Ball Jones, somehow still getting a selection, and he's getting 5 possessions before needing to be subbed out at 3/4 times. He is a zero impactful player. I've said it before, plays 2 good minutes at best of football. Narkle came on. The other B grader, Jace Burgoyne. Jace Burgoyne. I was there and I said to the person I was sitting next to, he'll miss every shot he'll go for, he'll miss. Did he even kick a goal? No, he kicked 2 points. He just can't capitalise on the scoreboard. He chokes under pressure. I know he's young, maybe needs a few more years to gain that confidence, but at the moment, I don't think he's in our best side. But my question is, where's Ryan Burden? I've not seen Ryan Burden play for weeks. I think he's in our best 22. If he's fit, I think we should bring Ryan Burden in for Jace Burgoyne. If we're playing Jace Burgoyne on the wing, I think Ryan Burden can play as a halfback flank wing player. That would be one change. And the other change we have to kind of consider, well, there's 2 other changes we have to consider, is Marshall and also Soldo. Are we going to bring Soldo back in 2 weeks and play him as a ruck forward? Or are we going to stick with the forward line we've got at the moment? Radigalia, he does good at up forward. You know, he's strong contested. He's a tall player. But he's 50-50 with his kicks. Do we need him in the half back again? I'm not sure what we're going to do with Radigalia once Marshall's probably fit. Do we bring Marshall in? Do we bring Soldo in the forward line? You know, Sweet's been playing all right. But Sydney had 95% of their players in. Goulden was in. Grundy was in. Heaney was in. Parker played. Warner got subbed out. Warner is one of their top players, and he actually got subbed out of the game because he was hardly having any possession or impact on that game. We pulled their pants down. Last week, we beat the team that was currently sitting second on the ladder at Carlton. Carlton have fallen down the AFL ladder. Sydney, top team, we beat them. We're only 2 points clear from top spot. I don't know this team. I'm not going to say the lid is off. I can't, because they're so unpredictable. If they play like this for the rest of the season, we'll definitely finish top 2. But it wasn't long ago, 4 weeks ago, we played Brisbane at the Adelaide Oval, and we got our pants pulled down in that game. They scored off us. How many scoring shots did we have on Saturday night? 22 goals to 16. To Sydney's 5 goals to 6. And I'd say 3 of those goals that Sydney got were from free kicks. So maybe Sydney are flat. Maybe I'm giving Port too much credit. Maybe it was Sydney have just fallen off the rails. They've lost at least 3 of the last 4 games. Maybe Sydney's peaked too early. Who knows? Who knows? This is a very, very strange season. From 1st to like 9th, everyone's almost the same, basically. Anyone could win it. It's a pick, just a pick of luck. Who's going to actually be there on the last day of, or last Saturday of September. Our midfield is elite. we've got so much depth in our midfield. It's elite. Our midfield's what's winning us games or keeping us in those games. I think we have definitely got one of the top three midfields by far. And we've got a pretty young midfield. Most of our midfield is under the age of 25. So what are we going to do moving forward? Who do we got next week? We've got, is it Melbourne? I think it is. Melbourne next week. Melbourne aren't playing that great. So can we beat Melbourne? Can we finish top four? These are the questions. What are we going to do this year? Port Adelaide, the biggest roller coaster of a team there is. But, when you've got players like Zach Butters in your team, Connor Rose in your team, even Travis Boak playing over 370 games. And he played all right. He played good. He kicked a goal. I'm pretty sure he did. And then we've got the future. What a player. What a player, Jason Horne-Francis. What a player. At 21. He was just tearing shreds in that midfield. Inside 50s. Impactful. Our whole midfield are great. The lid is off for tonight. We beat the top team by 112 points. The top team by 112 points. I've got to have a glass of the XO Cafe Patron for this. One more thing before I leave you. See this? I've got a select card in here. There's a special select card in here that I got at the start of the season. Now this select card, I won't reveal what the select card is yet. But come the end of the season, this could be either worth a lot of money or worth potatoes. So we'll keep this here for the rest of the home and away season. And we'll see what value this mystery select card will have. I could talk about Saturday all night. We beat Sydney. We just need to keep the form. We need to keep going. We've got some tough teams coming up. Melbourne, the Crows, and Fremantle. So I'd say we need to at least win one more to secure top 8. We've got that huge percentage boost. We jumped like 2 teams because of our 112-point win. The lid is off for this week. The king has arrived in Mixed Georgiades.